My name is James Leach. I'm Associate Vice President of Writer-Publisher Relations here in the LA office of Sesac. And I'd like to welcome you to our second annual Songwriters Bootcamp. The whole purpose of this event is to create an environment of networking, education, and self-empowerment. I'd like to introduce to you a good friend of mine, a good friend of Sesac and the music community at large, Mr. Dan Kimpel.
You might know me from my column in Music Connection magazine. I write the Song Biz column, and I interview a songwriter, composer, a songwriter artist for every issue of that magazine. In the last 2 months, that has included Smokey Robinson, Alicia Keys, Fergie, Natasha Bedingfield, and Wyclef Jean. I believe that success in our business is dependent on 3 factors: who you know, what you know, and who knows you. And effective networking is also not about you. It's about the other person, and it's about how other people react to you. You've got to have something to offer, but when I meet people with enthusiasm or energy that I know are going to go up there, those are the people that I want to help. What I've noticed is if we attach ourselves on behalf of artists, producers, and music supervisors and directors when they are coming up, and when we do have an opportunity, as they ascend, so too shall we ascend. And I call that networking for the future. First conversation you have with somebody, if you ask them, you meet a publisher and you go, "You looking for songs to sign?" They can say no, right? Try open-ended questions when you communicate initially. What kind of songs do you sign? What would you look for in a writer with whom you would establish a relationship? Can I get your input on this? I've been in the business many, many years. I have never seen the amount of opportunities that exist right now for motivated, creative, imaginative songwriters. It's up to you. Go get them. Enjoy your day, and thank you.
Let's say there's a young writer who's gotten the call. What is the information that you don't even want to hear from them until they have it in place?
If you have co-writers, have your splits together and make sure everybody is above board and on point in terms of who owns what and what the percentages are.
How often do you find yourself utilizing the social networking sites like a MySpace to find stuff?
It's best to, if you want to introduce yourself, write a little bit about yourself, then have a MySpace link. Some emails will interest me, and I'll start checking out bands, and I've found a lot of bands that way.
As a person that's pitching, and which I think a lot of you people probably own your own music and you want to get it out there, what I found is that you have to know who you're pitching to and know what they want.
If you're pitching something, it should be usable and
Yeah.
you know, within the parameters of not anybody walking away from the deal where they felt that they got burned.
There are certain studios that will try to take your copyright from you even when you're just pitching something you've already written, and that's something to be really, really watching out for.
You should also be really aware of these third-party pitchers that they want to have part of the publishing for like pitching your song, or else they'll take the fee for the master for pitching your song, or if they want 50% of what it is. It's all asking too much. I mean, the standard is usually like 25%, and if it goes much higher than that, you're getting ripped off.
Let's say one does sign to a production agreement and they're in this agreement. Is there some sort of compensation that they should receive, or what should be happening?
If you're signing a production deal, you're signing a production deal because that person has the connections to get you a record deal. If during the first term, which might be a year, 2 years, or an album cycle, you haven't had gross income of maybe at least $100,000, you can terminate and walk away from that agreement. Those are not things that are going to be in the agreement when they give it to you.
Right.
Your lawyer would help you get that into the agreement.
Often asked question in our office, when do I find a publishing deal? What's a good publisher? Publishing versus admin.
Keep your own publishing until it has value to where you can, if you want to get money from a publisher, you can work with an administration company where you retain your copyright ownership, and they're taking just a fee, 10-15% off the top, just to service your songs and collect money for you.
So starting off, we'll start to my left. Please, everyone will introduce themselves and tell them a little about yourself, and we'll go from there.
Hi, I'm Susan Koch. I've been a publisher for 20 years.
I'm Mike Savage. I worked in radio for about 10 years.
I'm Burko Pierce. I run a company with a couple of partners called Room 64. It's RM64.
Gail Perry. I'm an entertainment attorney. I've been an attorney for over 20 years.
What do you preach to artists? Say, hey, you know what? Something that you can do on your own is this.
As a DIY artist, it's a lot easier to reach the entire world with your music. I use Miko as an example again. We got her record, her debut record. We recorded, got it done, self-released it. We used TuneCore to get the album available on iTunes and Amazon worldwide.
As an independent artist, person doing it yourself on the DIY, you can pick and choose which type of services you want to be on.
Everybody you hire, your manager, your promoter, your publicist, they work for you. So you need to be on top of it. You need to respect what they're saying and they're advising you, but you are fully responsible for that company.
If you're a young artist, give your music away. Yeah, but give it away. Give, people like, oh, great, I want to listen to that. Get an email to, put up on your MySpace and have a little catch, email catch, get an email, give away a download. What you really want to do is build demand for people coming to see you play, and you can sell a t-shirt and sell a ticket to a show.
Distribution does not create demand. Now it's your job, the manager's job, the label's job, the publisher's job, whoever it is, but you're the CEO, so at the end of the day, it is your responsibility to make sure that someone goes on iTunes and buys that album.
What you guys are doing as upcoming songwriters and artists and whatnot is networking and getting to know as many people as possible and trying to establish the relationships and get your music heard by as many people, the right people, and try to find the right fit for your music.
Don't always be about trying to get on the main stage with the big people. Go talk to everybody else there with you. That's how I got a lot of my games.
Know who you are, basically, as an artist. I've often said the worst client to have is one who doesn't even know their own space. They want to sell shoelaces, and they don't even know what's involved in selling shoelaces, and they're looking for me to come up with that for them. I can't tell you who you are, and so you got to know who you are. Come to me, and we can help make that happen.
You set up a goal. You say, okay, I want to do video games. So what does that mean? You got to know what everybody's looking for and what they want. Anybody know the game Vigilante 8 Second Offense? 10 years ago that I did this game, but it's a good example because what I did is I met the developer. They already had someone that had did version 1, Vigilante 8. I hit them back and say, hey, I was working on some music thing that might work perfectly for what you're doing. Check it out. And because I've been polite, I've never bugged him, I never pushed my music on him or listen to my demo or hear what I'm doing, he was up to hear it. That whole week, me and my friends, we made music to fit exactly what he asked for. He went, he's like, this is exactly what we're looking for. I'm like, oh, cool. Yeah, I thought it would fit. I got the job.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me. It's really nice to be here. I'm a songwriter and a music publisher and a record producer.
My name is Darren, Superpower Baker. Recently moved to LA from Atlanta. The biggest thing you'll know me for is last year's Lolly Lolly by 3 6 Mafia. James asked me to come out here and listen to some of your stuff and give my opinion on it. I'm sure it's going to be great. Production-wise, maybe a little lusher chord bass on that track just to help up the singing stuff. The rapping was cool, but I think what's going to stand out the most about that song would be the singing.
That kind of song is all about the production. If you don't have production that can stand up to all that big stuff on the radio, that's a problem, because that's not a song that an A&R guy is going to go, ooh, that's a cool song, let me get somebody to cut that. They're going to want to use the production that comes with it.
In this world of salvation, you rely on the flame. Won't you feel me, teach me, give me your
This particular song, if it were my song, I could get it placed in 25 TV shows today, because that song is that type of song is asked for a lot.
It was good because it established a rhythm, not only rhythm but a harmony, chord off the top. I thought that was great. The vocal I thought sounded cool. I thought his presence, and he owned the lyrics and what he was saying, so I thought it was great.